In every corner of the city, there are secrets, stories that hide in plain sight, waiting in the shadows, waiting for someone brave enough to witness them. And tonight, we step into that darkness once again. Welcome to Dynamic Dark. Welcome to a brand new horror experience. Welcome to episode 41. I'm Aditya, and tonight, I bring you 3 terrifying, completely new creepypasta stories, each stranger, darker, and more unnerving than the last. Fresh tales. Fresh week. Fresh nightmares. If you are new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you dare to face what comes next. Tonight's stories blur the line between reality and the unknown. Each one a descent into urban darkness and modern horror. Today's first story, The Hollow House. 12 o'clock. Today's second story, The Watching Trees. New moon symbol. And today's final story, The Silent Neighbor. If you crave horror that blends supernatural chills with suspenseful tension and psychological dread, you are exactly where you need to be. Because this is Dynamic Dark. For the best experience, put on your earphones, turn off the lights, and let the shadows, suspense, and fear consume you. Now let's begin with our first story, The Hollow House. A man rents an old, abandoned house, drawn by its cheap price and the lonely streets. At first, the silence feels comforting, almost peaceful. The neighbors warn him about its history, but he laughs it off. The house sits there, decaying, its windows staring like blind eyes into the empty street. He steps inside, and the air is thick, heavy, smelling of dust and forgotten years. The first night is quiet, almost too quiet. But then he hears it, a soft whisper curling around the corners of the hallway, almost like someone calling his name. He freezes. Footsteps echo across the floors, slow, deliberate, yet no one is there. He grabs a flashlight, shining it into the dark rooms, but the light only reveals emptiness. Or does it? For a black shadowy figure flickers at the edge of his vision, just beyond the beam, vanishing the moment he blinks. Cold air brushes his arms, and he can almost feel fingers grazing his skin. Days pass, and the house begins to move around him. Rooms appear where none existed before, doors open to the same hallway repeatedly, looping him in circles. The furniture subtly shifts, as if rearranged by invisible hands. And then he sees them, figures draped in black shadows, their forms humanoid but hollow, eyes glowing faintly red, frozen in terror. One reaches for him with a translucent hand, another screams silently, their hollow eyes fixed on his soul. He realizes, with a rising dread, that these are the spirits of the house's former residents, replaying their deaths every night, trapped in an endless loop. And now, he is part of it. Panic surges through him. He runs to the doors, desperate to leave, but every exit betrays him. Hallways twist unnaturally, stairs spiral endlessly, doors open to the same room over and over. Whispers rise, overlapping, urgent, almost pleading, stay with us. Shadows stretch along the walls, reaching toward him, pulling him deeper into the house. He trips over invisible obstacles, his heartbeat echoing in his ears, each breath visible in the suddenly cold air. He finds a room and barricades the door, but the walls themselves seem to breathe, pulsating like the chest of some living entity. Black ghostly figures glide silently through walls, moving closer with each heartbeat, their faces featureless and terrifying. A chandelier swings violently overhead, though no breeze touches it. Portraits on the walls seem to watch him, eyes following his every tremor, shifting imperceptibly when he is not looking directly at them. and then he understands the truth. The hollow house does not release its visitors. It feeds on their fear, their panic, their very soul. Every step he takes, every turn he makes, is controlled. Every shadow, every whisper is a part of its design. He is trapped, destined to join the countless black ghostly spirits that haunt these halls. The whispers grow louder, surrounding him completely, voices overlapping, chilling him to the core. The figures close in, reaching, dragging. But soon, the nights awaken. Whispers curl through the empty halls, soft at first, then growing louder, overlapping, almost pleading, as if the walls themselves are calling his name. Footsteps patter across the floors where no one walks, slow and deliberate, sometimes behind him, sometimes ahead, echoing in unnatural patterns. The air grows colder, thick with dust and a faint metallic scent, and shadows stretch and twist along the walls, flickering in shapes that are almost human, almost something else entirely. He shines his flashlight, the beam trembling in his hands, but it reveals nothing, or maybe just barely glimpses of black, faceless figures slipping in and out of corners, their hollow eyes faintly glowing, reaching, hovering, moving impossibly through walls and floors. Every creak of the floor, every whisper, every shifting shadow tightens a knot of panic in his chest. Doors open to the same hallway repeatedly, looping him endlessly, and furniture subtly shifts positions when he is not looking. The chandelier sways above him despite the still air, casting dancing shadows that almost look alive. Occasionally, faint silhouettes appear on the walls, replaying moments of terror, twisted and contorted, echoes of the house's former residents trapped in eternal loops. He tries to call out, his voice swallowed by the thick, cold air. A sudden cold brush across his arm feels like icy fingers, and the whispers intensify, forming fragmented words he can barely understand. Stay. Stay with us, don't leave. Every corner he turns, he senses presence, figures hiding just beyond vision, peering from darkened doorways, crawling along ceilings, their forms like rivers of black smoke with subtle hints of glowing eyes. The walls themselves seem to breathe, pulsating, compressing, closing in with a rhythm that matches his accelerating heartbeat. Time loses meaning. The house votes reality. Hallways extend impossibly, stairs spiral endlessly, and shadows flow around him like black rivers, whispering, murmuring, some almost forming human shapes, others simply massing into shapes that trigger fear he cannot name. Every room seems alive, holding memories of death and despair, replayed in silence and shadows. He feels himself being pulled deeper, every step heavier, every breath colder, as if the house itself hungers for him. The figures grow bolder. One reaches from the ceiling, another slides along the walls, faceless and silent, their hollow eyes faintly glowing as they hover inches from him. A door slams shut behind him with impossible force. The whispers crescendo into overlapping voices, a chorus of longing, warning, and menace. He stumbles, trips over invisible obstacles, and feels hands of cold shadow brushing against him, tugging, dragging, urging him further into the darkness. Hours pass, or minutes, he cannot tell. Every heartbeat echoes like a drum of doom. The air vibrates with tension. A faint mist curls along the floor, around the legs of Black. Days pass, and the man starts noticing strange anomalies in the house. Hallways shift subtly when he isn't looking, doors lead back to the same rooms no matter which way he turns, and furniture rearranges itself, as if guided by invisible hands. The air grows heavier, thick with dust and the faint metallic tang of decay, and the fog curling along the floors seems to respond to his movements, swirling more when he hesitates, as if warning him to keep moving. Shadows stretch unnaturally along walls and ceilings, and thick black ghostly figures float slowly 2 to 3 feet above the floor, their lower bodies misty, legs faintly visible, moving silently but deliberately. Some watch him from corners, others drift across hallways, barely brushing the walls, their dense forms pulsating in rhythm with the house's airy heartbeat. He begins to notice patterns. In each room, spectral figures replay fragments of their last moments, screams, falls, silent tears, looping endlessly in fear and pain. Whispers echo all around him, fragmented phrases blending into a chorus of despair. Stay, don't leave, join us. The chandelier swings violently overhead without wind, casting shifting shadows that merge with the floating black figures, forming ghostly rivers of darkness that block his path and guide him deeper into the house. Floorboards creak under invisible footsteps, doors slam open and shut, and cold air brushes his arms as if fingers are tracing him, pulling him toward corners where the fog grows thicker and the black ghosts seem to multiply. He tries to escape, sprinting down hallways that twist and fold impossibly, only to find himself back where he started. Rooms appear that were not there moments ago, staircases spiral endlessly, and mirrors reflect not his own image but ghostly versions of the house's former residents, trapped forever in their loops. Occasionally, a thick black figure hovers near him, floating silently, legs just visible, its presence oppressive, heavy, and inescapable. The portrait's eyes follow him in every room, glowing faint grey, and the whispers crescendo, overlapping into urgent, chilling commands, stay, stay forever. Time loses all meaning. Every step he takes is anticipated, every turn manipulated by the house. The floating black ghosts circle him slowly, merging with walls and ceiling shadows, forming rivers of darkness that twist and writhe, surrounding him completely. He stumbles, tripping over fog-draped floorboards, heartbeat pounding in his ears, cold mist swirling around his legs. The air vibrates with tension, punctuated by sudden door slams and soft ghostly wails that seem to come from inside the walls themselves. By the end, the man realizes with bone-deep horror that he is part of the cycle now. Every strange anomaly, every looping hallway, every floating black ghost was designed to trap him, feeding on his fear, adding him to the house's collection. The whispers grow louder, filling every room, every corner, every shout. Panic sets in as the boy frantically looks for a way out. Every door he opens brings him back to the same hallway, and every staircase seems to spiral endlessly. Rooms appear that weren't there before, and corridors twist in impossible ways. The fog curls around his legs, and the old floorboards creak under his hurried steps. He notices the thick black shadows of the ghosts floating a few feet above the floor, their forms dark and heavy, sometimes barely visible in the dim light. Whispers echo through the hallways, urgent and chilling. Stay, stay with us. He swings his flashlight nervously, catching glimpses of ghostly faces frozen in silent terror. Furniture shifts slightly as if moved by invisible hands, and the chandelier above swings without a breeze, casting moving shadows that make the hallways feel alive. Every turn he takes leads him back to the same room. Mirrors reflect not his own face but faint images of the house's past residents, trapped in loops of their last moments. Portraits seem to watch his every move, their eyes faintly glowing. He stumbles over fog-covered floors, his heartbeat loud in his ears, and cold air brushes his arms, like something unseen is reaching for him. He runs through the corridors, trying every door, climbing stairs, but the house bends reality to trap him. The shadows grow thicker, surrounding him, pressing from all sides, and the whispers rise into a chorus of fear. Join us forever. He realizes that there is no escape. No matter what he does, every path, every door, every hallway leads him back inside. Finally, he stops, breathless, his heart pounding. The realization hits him hard. He is now part of the house's endless cycle, destined to remain trapped with the spirits that haunt it. The shadows linger, the whispers continue, and the hollow house waits silently, ready for the next visitor, brave or foolish enough to enter. The whispers won't stop now. They circle him, low and restless, like something unseen breathing in the dark. Cold air brushes his arms, his neck almost like invisible fingers tracing his skin. He tries to stay calm, tries to convince himself it's all in his head, but then he hears his name. Clearly. Softly. Whispered right beside his ear. He spins around, nothing. Only the fog, drifting slowly through the dim light. His flashlight flickers again, and for just a second, he sees them, black shadows, standing at the end of the hall. Watching. Not moving. Just waiting. He runs, slamming doors open, searching for an exit, but every door leads to the same hallway. The same staircase. The same broken chandelier swaying above him. No matter where he goes, he ends up back where he started. The walls seem to close in, the air growing colder, heavier, harder to breathe. Then, he sees it, a reflection in a cracked mirror. But it's not his. The figure looks like him, yet its face is pale, its eyes hollow and red, smiling faintly. When he blinks, it's gone, but the smile remains, burned into his mind. Whispers rise again, overlapping, louder now, dozens of voices, pleading, warning, crying. The sound builds, the chandelier swings wildly, and the house begins to shake. He backs away, clutching his flashlight tight, as black ghostly figures start to appear, floating slowly out of the fog, heavy and shapeless, their hollow faces fixed on him. He stumbles backward, trips, and falls to the floor, the light shaking in his hand as the figures close in, circling him silently. He finally understands, the house doesn't want him to leave. It never did. He screams, runs toward the door one last time, but when he opens it, there's only darkness. Endless, cold, whispering darkness. And then, the flashlight hits the ground and goes out. Outside, the house stands silent again. Still, waiting. But if you listen closely, beneath the wind and the fog, you can hear it. A new voice. Soft. Trapped. Whispering next. And just like that, the hollow house claims another soul. The whispers die down, slowly fading into the walls like echoes trapped in eternity. The air, once alive with movement, grows still again, heavy and cold. The fog outside thickens, curling along the broken porch, wrapping the house in silence. For now it sleeps. But inside those rotting walls, behind the cracked glass and peeling wallpaper, dozens of pale, lifeless faces watch from the shadows. Their hollow eyes glow faintly red, waiting, listening, whispering the same word again and again. Next. The hollow house doesn't rest. It simply hungers, quietly, patiently, for the next knock at its door. And when it comes, it will smile again. The camera drifts away from the windows, rising slowly into the fog. The night stretches endlessly across the town, silent streets, dim street lights flickering in the mist. But somewhere far away, beyond this cursed neighborhood, the forest begins. A vast, dark wilderness, branches like skeletal arms reaching for the moon, fog crawling low along the ground, and in the distance, faint, glowing shapes drift between the trees. You can almost hear them, soft voices carried by the wind, whispering names, calling out to those who wander too close. Because the night is not over. The darkness doesn't end with the house. It only spreads deeper, darker, and far more ancient. Somewhere, someone else is walking into their nightmare. A traveler, lost in the woods. Unaware of the eyes watching from the fog. The hollow house sleeps, but the forest phantom awakens. So don't turn off the lights yet. Because as long as there are shadows, as long as there's silence after midnight, another story will always wait. And you are still listening. Welcome back to Dynamic Dark. The story begins deep within the hills, where sunlight rarely reaches the ground and the air smells of old wood and silence. Today's second story. The Watching Trees. They say no map dares mark this forest anymore. People who wander too far inside simply vanish. Some say the forest keeps them. Others say something else does. A lone woman, Meera, hikes through the dense, twisting trails, her boots crunching over damp leaves. She's not here for adventure, she's here for closure. Her brother disappeared here 6 months ago. At first, the forest feels calm, the soft hum of crickets, the gentle sway of branches. Almost peaceful. Almost welcoming. But the deeper she goes, the quieter it gets. The wind dies. The birds vanish. And the silence becomes heavy, like the trees themselves are listening. She stops for a moment, breathing slowly. Her flashlight flickers, and she feels the weight of hundreds of unseen eyes watching her from between the trunks. One step forward, the creak of wood behind her. Another step, a whisper she can't place. Then, a low groan echoes through the forest, not wind, not an animal. Something alive and ancient. Meera raises her camera to record, but her reflection in the lens isn't alone. For a split second, she sees a shadow standing right behind her. She spins around, nothing. And yet, the trees seem closer than before. Somewhere in the dark, a soft breathing sound answers her silence. The forest isn't empty. It's waiting. The deeper she goes, the quieter it becomes. No birds. No wind. Only the crunch of her boots and her heartbeat. Through the mist, shapes begin to form, tall, thin, motionless. At first, she thinks they're trees. But then one moves. A faint human outline, black and heavy, its body distorted like smoke trapped inside glass. It doesn't walk. It floats, soundless, hovering inches above the ground. She freezes. Her flashlight flickers again, and suddenly, there are more. Dozens of black ghostly figures at the edge of her vision, half hidden behind fog and bark. Every time she turns, they vanish. But when she looks forward again, they're closer. Their faces are hollow, empty sockets where eyes should be, and faint whispers bleed into her ears, voices that sound like her brother's, calling her name. Meera. Her breath catches. She calls out, "Who's there?" The forest doesn't answer, it echoes. Her own voice comes back, warped and layered, as if 100 people said it with her. Then, one figure moves through the fog, closer, its head twitching side to side. It stops a few feet away, and without warning, its face stretches unnaturally, forming a silent scream that fades into smoke. Meera stumbles backward, dropping her flashlight. The beam spins across the forest floor, illuminating dozens of shadowed legs hanging midair, fog swirling beneath them. She realizes they are not following her. They are surrounding her. By nightfall, the mist thickens, the air so cold it burns her lungs. She sets up a small tent, lights her lantern, trying to convince herself it's just a forest. But forests don't breathe. And this one does. The trees sway without wind, creaking softly like they're whispering to each other. Somewhere beyond the darkness, faint lantern lights appear, one, then two, then dozens. They float among the trees, glowing a pale yellow, surrounding her in a perfect circle. Meera steps out of her tent, confused. No footsteps. No rustle. Just whispers, low, rhythmic, overlapping voices calling names. Daniel, Clara, Joseph. Names of the missing. Names from the forest's old legends. She clutches her lantern tighter, and in its glow, she sees faint silhouettes among the lights. Figures, black, heavy, and motionless, standing just beyond reach. Their bodies seem carved out of darkness itself, and yet their shapes shimmer faintly, as if the fog breathes through them. She whispers, "Who are you?" The lantern flame flutters violently, and the figures blink out. For a moment, she thinks she's alone again. Then she turns back toward her tent and gasps. The figures are now inside the circle of light. Dozens of them. Silent. Floating. Each holding a faint, dying lantern that glows from within their chest. The whispers grow louder now, forming words she can almost understand. Stay with us. Her light flickers one last time, then goes out. The forest drowns in darkness. Only the ghosts' lanterns remain, burning quietly like souls that never left. The deeper she goes, the less the forest feels real. The trees seem to shift when she's not looking, closing in, branches curling like skeletal fingers reaching for her. The fog thickens, swallowing sound, light, even time itself. She shines her flashlight through the mist, and the beam catches fleeting shapes, faces she doesn't recognize, mouths open in silent screams, bodies fading in and out like flickering film. Whispers rise from the earth beneath her boots, names, prayers, and cries for help. The forest is showing her what happened here. Ghostly figures appear between the trees, men, women, even children trapped mid-motion, their translucent faces frozen in horror. Some claw at invisible walls, others stare right through her, eyes hollow, black as void. Panic sets in. She starts to run, but the paths curve unnaturally, leading her in circles. Every tree looks the same. Every shadow breathes. The whispers grow frantic, layering over each other until it sounds like the forest itself is screaming. She falls to her knees, clutching her head, the air vibrating with spectral energy. Around her, the ghosts begin to float closer, their outlines thickening, merging with the fog. The trees groan as if alive, their bark shifting to reveal faces that look disturbingly human. One whispers in her ear, a voice colder than the wind. "You shouldn't have come here." She looks up and sees herself standing among them, pale, still, her eyes completely black. The realization hits. She's already part of the forest. She opens her eyes to silence. The campfire has burned out, only cold ashes remain. But something is wrong. The light feels different. Dim, faded, as if the world has lost its color. She looks around, but her tent, her bag, even her footprints are gone. She calls out, but her voice echoes unnaturally, distorted, repeating back from every direction like 100 whispers mimicking her. The fog thickens again, swirling around her feet like smoke. Through it, she sees faint silhouettes, people standing in the mist, motionless, faces blank, eyes hollow. Her heart races. She steps closer and realizes she recognizes one of them. It's her. Frozen, staring right back, a pale version of herself, eyes black, mouth slightly open as if caught mid-scream. Around her, the other ghosts begin to drift forward, slow and silent, their outlines flickering between solid and mist. They form a circle, closing in. The woman reaches out to touch her own face, but her hand passes through like smoke. A chilling realization grips her. She's not awake. She never woke up at all. She's inside the forest's memory, the vision she saw last night. The forest didn't just show her its ghosts, it made her one of them. The whispers rise again, hundreds of voices overlapping, some crying, some laughing, others whispering her name over and over. The fog glows faintly green, pulsing like a heartbeat. Her body feels lighter, colder. She looks down and sees her legs fading into mist, her hands translucent, veins like shadows moving beneath. And then silence. Total, endless silence. Her last breath leaves her lips, and she feels the pull of the forest, soft, cold, eternal. Her spirit drifts among the trees, merging with the others. From now on, she will wander these woods, appearing at the edges of strangers' vision, another whisper in the fog, another lost soul among the watching trees. Somewhere far away, the forest waits for its next visitor, listening, watching. The forest keeps its secrets. Every whisper, every shadow, every lost soul becomes part of its endless silence. They say if you listen closely at midnight, you can still hear the soft echo of footsteps, the ones who never found their way out. The fog thickens again, rolling through the trees, hiding the faces that once called for help. The forest doesn't kill, it keeps. It watches. It waits. Each new wanderer becomes another ghostly echo, another memory woven into its roots. But the night isn't over. Because somewhere far from these woods, beyond the twisted branches and dead leaves, the darkness spreads. Street lights flicker. Windows rattle. And in the heart of a sleeping city, another story begins to take shape. Something watches from an apartment window that shouldn't exist. Something moves when no one's looking. And for those who think they're safe inside their homes, they're wrong. The forest has claimed its soul. Now, the city awaits its turn. Welcome back to Dynamic Dark. And today's final story, The Silent Neighbor. It started with a sound, soft footsteps in the hallway at midnight. A man, recently moved into a quiet apartment building, hears them almost every night. Slow. Careful. Like someone pacing just outside his door. He remembers the day a moving truck arrived next door. Boxes stacked neatly. A faint shadow at the window. But no one ever stepped inside, not that he saw. No greeting, no lights, no sound. Just silence. At first, he tells himself it's nothing, maybe the neighbor works nights. But as the days pass, things feel off. The air in the corridor grows colder, heavier. Lights flicker more often near that apartment. The faint smell of burnt wood and old perfume seeps through the walls. One evening, he stands by his peephole. Across the hallway, the door to that flat sits slightly open. He swears he hears breathing, a slow, hollow exhale, like someone standing just beyond view. Then a whisper. A single word, stay. He pulls back instantly. The whisper doesn't echo from the hall, but from behind him. When he turns, there's no one there. Only the soft creak of his own floorboards. From that night on, the building changes. Shadows stretch longer than they should. The elevator stops on floors no one has pressed. At 3 a.m., faint music plays from the neighbor's room, an old tune, warped and distant, looping endlessly. Still, he never sees anyone enter or leave. Just that same door, slightly ajar, and the same uneasy feeling that something inside is aware of him. Watching him. Waiting. He tells himself it's his imagination, until the night he finds muddy footprints leading from the hallway directly to his own door. At first, it's little things, lights flickering without cause, doors closing when no wind blows, faint music drifting from empty rooms. But soon, he feels it, the sense of being watched. Every sound, every shadow seems alive, as if the walls themselves are holding their breath, waiting for him to notice. Curiosity overwhelms him. He opens the neighbor's apartment, dust-covered furniture, a yellowed newspaper clipping revealing the neighbor died years ago. Footsteps echo behind him. He spins, and in the cracked mirror, he sees a black, hollow-eyed silhouette standing silently, watching. Night after night, he feels unseen eyes following him. Shadows stretch unnaturally across walls, whispering names he doesn't recognize, murmurs layering into a low, haunting chorus. The apartment itself seems alive, floors creak, doors sway, lights flicker as if breathing. And then he sees them. Silhouettes of former residents, trapped like him, hovering silently in corners and doorways. Hollow eyes glowing faintly red, faces twisted in sorrow and malice, staring directly at his soul. Their presence presses in from all sides, and he realizes he is not alone. Panic surges through him as he dashes toward the exit, heart hammering. Every door loops back, every hallway stretches impossibly, as if the apartment itself is alive, mocking his escape. The whispers rise, overlapping, urgent, echoing from walls, floor, and ceiling. Desperation overwhelms him. He catches a glimpse of himself in a cracked mirror and freezes. His reflection is no longer flesh and blood, it's hollow, blackened, ghostly, joining the countless trapped souls. Their hollow eyes stare at him, and a silent understanding hits him. The apartment doesn't release anyone. From that moment, he is no longer a visitor. He is one of them. Forever wandering the dark corridors, hovering silently, watched by new arrivals. The apartment is full, yet it always has room for one more, and now, he is its permanent resident. And so ends tonight's journey into darkness. Houses that trap, forests that consume, and spirits that never let go. Every shadow you've seen, every whisper you've heard tonight, they are not just stories. They are warnings. The hollow house waits silently for its next visitor, corridors twisting, black figures floating just beyond your vision. The cursed forest continues to claim its souls, phantom eyes glinting behind every tree, every misty corner. And the silent neighbor's apartment still holds those who dared to look too closely, watching, waiting, silently feeding on curiosity. Remember, the shadows are always watching, always waiting. Every floorboard creak, every flicker of light, every faint breath in the dark could be more than imagination. And next time, it could be you. So keep your lights on, keep your doors locked, and never forget, the darkness remembers, and it always hungers for more. Welcome back to Dynamic Dark. That was the end of episode 41 of Dynamic Dark. If you enjoyed these terrifying stories, make sure to comment below which story scared you the most. The best comment will be pinned by me, Aditya. So, don't forget to like, subscribe, and enable notifications bell if you dare to see what comes next. And share with your friends and family too. Or you can suggest a topic for the next episode, like a foreign urban legend, haunted place, or any other creepy horror story. The suggestion with the most likes might be featured in the next episode. Until then, keep listening to terrifying stories because we'll be back soon with episode 42. And in the next episode, we'll bring you creepypasta horror stories. Yes, an English episode this time. Stay tuned and keep watching the horror episodes of Dynamic Dark. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a new horror episode. New fears, new darkness, and new secrets. Join the Dynamic Dark family with 3 brand new terrifying stories.